I'm still basking in the afterglow of this win and our away game with the Chiefs. What a way to pull out this win and snatch it from the jaws of defeat. Because we could have lost this game. It could have gone either way. But I'm happy that we came out on top. What's up? It's your boy Centron. Come back at you with another analysis video. And I kid you not, that's a real name. Today, Eagles, Chiefs, snap counts. Philly heavily relying on Haason Reddick and Josh Sweat. There might be a remedy to this problem. There might not be in the immediate future unless we change some things around. But let's get into the offense first. Love that man there, Reddick, though. Don't know what point that was in the game, but he made his impact felt. All right, I'll just point out here, man, all these starting linemen started the year in the starting positions, and were undefeated when they all played. So, hey, QB1 also took 100% of the snaps. So let's get into his performance. You know, it was up and down, and he was held in check for most of the game. It was a protection issue, and also like him getting happy feet in the pocket, not trusting his blocks in front of him, and they're bringing pressure. I want to say he's pressured, in the first half, a dozen or so times, man. They were bringing the heat, and Steve Spagnuolo is known to bring it from multiple angles, multiple gaps, multiple levels, from the front line to the linebackers to the defensive backfield. That being said, we weathered the storm, and it was only so long you can contain an offense like this, top 5 offense in the league. And that play was that long deep ball to Devonta Smith. But we'll get to the resources they allocated to stopping us. But hey, man, cat and mouse game. Brandon Johnson made it too easy for the defense by being predictable and bad play calling. But we were able to finally get out of a rut. And in spots, hit on some plays, and especially that drive, that led to that touchdown by Devonta. Yeah, man, huge. So clutch. We seem to have those genes. We wear them very well, like they're Lee Dungarees or some shit. Anyways, yeah. After that, man, let's look at the line. I think, in the first half, I don't know. I specifically saw Landon Dickerson and Kelsey, when he was helping. Then C. Jurgens saw Mailata as well give up some pressure. So as a unit, we didn't play very well. 5 first half sacks, and then in that second half, allowing 0. So we calmed down, settled in, and just played our brand of football. And also the play calling was better to help them out to hit those middle screens when wide receiver bubble screens weren't working. They haven't been working this year at all. But to alleviate that pressure, using a jet sweep to catch them off guard, to get that fast flowing aggressive defense flowing in the wrong direction, and misuse their numbers on the field. They were slanted to that side. That's why we had so many guys coming over the block and scrape. There was nobody to really block that far downfield. Other than a few guys that were allocated to that side. So wisely shifting the strategy, when things weren't working the way we originally called them, adaptation. We'll get to that on the defensive side, but the offensive side, man, just great job. And as much flack as I want to give Brian Johnson, he did make the adjustments. He did call those plays that, went for big gains, with Swift in the middle screen, and then Swift on that jet sweep. So in lieu of not having Dallas Goedert out there, we did go Sands tight end, a couple times, and that could be a new thing that we continue to do even when Goddard comes back, just for a minute amount of game, because you don't want to take that playmaker off the field too often. But we did show that we have the adaptability to weather the storm without him being in there. And Jack Stoll, he's not a threat at tight end, a receiving threat, a great blocker though. And Albert, we don't really trust him, so I believe he could be a receiving threat if we found a role for him, but we prioritize running the offense the way we do. So, potatoes. But yeah, I credit those guys for settling in and protecting Jalen, and trusting each other. Nobody got down. Nobody was pressed. Nobody was overly frustrated. frustrations are going to come out, but they were able to at least vent them in the right direction. Let's get to receivers. A.J. Brown held in check. They allocated resources specifically to stop him. It was a Jerry Sneed, but I want to believe there was some cloud coverage over the top. There were some brackets. There were some passing off in zone defense. So they were doing everything they could to stop A.J. Brown, and it worked. But fortunately, we have other guys that can beat you in this offense. Guy on the ground and through the air, by the name of DeAndre Swift, as well as a guy on the other side, Devonta Smith. So Devonta had a great game. 8 targets, he caught 6 for 99 yards. He said he wished it'd be 98 because 99 is just too close to 100. To have that number, I mean, I get it. But he went out and did his role perfectly. 13-yard catch over the middle. Excellent. He was working the middle intermediate area of the field, and we sorely needed that, on a day where, like I said, they were, they were selling out to not let A.J. Brown beat them. That's cool. We can have other guys that can do that. With a 41-yard jump, like mentioned it on the video yesterday, but the reason the safety wasn't able to react, Mike Edwards, he was already mismatched. He got blown past, by Devonta Smith. He shot his arm so late, so he was tracking the ball, but he waited until he saw it, like right there, and then shot his arms. Last minute grab, so that prevented the safety from reacting, because he shoots his arm early. The safety goes, oh, okay, I got to react and get in there and getting closer. So excellent. I mean, that's just attention to detail. And he's a young receiver. He's only in his third year, so not many young receivers are able to have that skill, do that. Him and AJ do that excellently. But coming from a younger guy like him having the poise and the mental fortitude, because the last couple games he hasn't been targeted that heavily, and for it to be his week and for him to step up, superb. Julio Jones playing a bigger, chunk here. Got 2 targets. He had 2 catches for 5 yards. Not huge, but more so him being out there. We'll see how that goes moving forward. But he played more than Olamide Zaccheaus. He had his numbers reduced. He did have a target, didn't have a catch. Could have worked if Trent McDuffie didn't get in the way. Would have been a nice screen for, I think, at least for a couple. Maybe more if he is able to get the blocking that he needs. But didn't work out. DeAndre Swift, man, just excellent. He had 76 yards, I think, on 12 carries for like 6.6 a carry. He was just, man, he was crucial. He had a couple big carries in the first half that showed us, hey, we need to stick with the run game, or at least pay enough credence to it. And we did just enough. Not what you want, but you're not going to get that in this offense most likely. But also through the air, he had 3 targets. Made all 3 catches for 30 yards, and they were crucial, man. Especially that jet sweep, like I said earlier, just that really keyed us on that drive to go down and get those points, man. In a game where, there were, few and far in between, and also our possessions. We lost the possession battle by 4 minutes, but, still went out there and won that game. AJ held to, 1 catch for 8 yards, and we go out there and win that game. Just excellent game, excellent focus, zoned in, and he was just on one, man. The moves he was making, the cuts, shiftiness on those runs. Premium. We needed all of those yards that he got yesterday. Jack Stoll, like I said, he was in there blocking for the most part. He's good at that, but we don't really look to him. And I think he had 2 targets, but only 1 catch for 3 yards and a dump off. So we'll take that. Let's see. Grant Calcaterra, he was slotted in as a second tight end. He went out with the ankle injury. Albert replaced him. He still didn't have that many snaps, and we didn't target him. I mean, I'm just like, I want us to just try him, just to give the defense something else to think about, even if it's just in this interim while Dallas Goedert is out. Boston Scott didn't play that much, but he did have 2 carries, I think, for 8 yards, so he made the most of his time in there. Kenny Gainwell, we've been reducing his snaps, and he didn't play that much. Maybe during the bye week we looked at him, scouted him, and scouted our team and said, hey, we're trying to push him a little bit too much. It's not LGBTQ plus this thing, not try to force it down your throats. Just let it come as it goes. Pause. Reed Blankenship, he was in there for the end of game scenarios, kneel downs. So I'm like, what? And I love that Jack Driscoll's in there. I'm taking it all from notes. These are not my own machinations, but he was in there as a blocking tight end. I love that idea because I heard, I'm like, 6'3", so 6'3". I'm thinking it was someone else, but that's Jack Driscoll's number. And man, have him in there, excellent. And I believe he could throw a ball or two on the year, but he has that potential. But man, obviously as a tight end, he's gonna kill it. So let's see, is there anything more here to glean? Yeah, he had 100 scrimmage yards. D'Andre Swift, and man, just excellent, dude. Yeah, I would love for us to target Julio Jones more vertically and not horizontally at this stage in his career. He's 34 years old. That's great that we kind of saw live in game action. Of course, he's not going to be the most shiftiest guy, but he's a downfield threat even at this stage of his career. Let's see. More Scott, less Gainwell. I hope so. Let's see. Defense here. So let's look at the snaps. Let's see. Let's start with the ends. So Josh Sweat, 85%. Hassan Reddick, rule the edges, 86%. Highest snap percent total that they've had this season. And I just want us to have a good rotation, man. Brandon Graham at 32%. I like that uptick for him. I think that he can handle that number, and that would be fine. Those guys, edge. Hassan Reddick setting the edge. He did mostly a good job. I think he got had on a couple plays, but that'll happen. But at his size, him playing the edge, setting the edge, excellent work. And he's bringing pressure all game. Even though he only had the 1 sack in the initial series of the second play of the game, but I love that he was like, "All right, Mahomes, I'm here. You're gonna feel me, man. You're gonna feel me. I'm from Philly. Get it? Who cares?" Anyways, Josh Sweat, I thought he had some reckless rushes up the field and a unique passer, and who becomes a runner. And Patrick Mahomes, he just has a great feel for the pocket, and he's slippery. He's only been sacked 13 times, counting this game, this year. And it's not that they do such a great job protecting him. I mean, they do a decent job, especially that interior of Tooney, Trey Smith, and Creed Humphrey. But he just knows how to maneuver in and out. Division opponents are more likely going to have success because they see him more often. But those that don't, he's slippery, man. He's like a freaking oiled up duck. Just slips out of your grasp. We'll get to Fletcher Cox in that situation in a second, but it just baffled me. I'm like, ugh. But Brandon Graham, I didn't see him. He had that one offside. I believe that was neutral zone infraction or offsides. That was a bad play call, I believe, by the refs. They credited to Creed Humphrey, but he's moving the ball. They do that all the time. So I'm like, that could be called on any play. So I think that was a bad call. I'll admit a couple bad calls, including the holding on the Olamide Zaccheaus hook, but at least he spun with it to make it look natural. So, technically it wasn't a hold because they didn't call it, but that should have been called as well. So a couple bad penalties go against the Chiefs, but we had a couple go against us. And then one, Josh Sweat, where he hit Patrick Mahomes, I think on the first or second series. I'm like, that could have been roughing the passer. That was ticky-tacking. I think they let that go. I'm like, okay, guys, we're playing with fire here. But they played an overall solid job. Once they got in the second half, Jay Sweaty calmed down. They were more maintaining those rushing lanes, not trying to go all in on him, and putting pressure on him because slowly over the game it accumulated and sped up the clock. It also brought some blitzes, which I love. Even though some of them we got burned on, hey, it happens. But letting the quarterback know you're not just gonna let him sit back there comfortably and pick you apart. Fletcher Cox, man, solid game. He's playing at a high level with a high number of snaps. But he was able to get, some push, and he let Mahomes escape on the sideline. I know they're gonna beat him up about that, just his unathletic ass beating Fletcher Cox and push him out, get the tackle. I believe he was worried about penalty. That's why he didn't finish the play. I'm like, bro, you gotta finish. He got some extra 8-9 yards. I'm like, Patrick is looking like a ballerina. I'm not saying he can't do that, but that was an ugly ass run, man. Just no. So, but Jalen Carter, man, he got some push up the middle. Even if he didn't get there, man, his presence was felt in the run game mostly. Jordan Davis as well, setting that interior. We got, he got let himself, get run out of some plays and played against his strengths, on others. But overall, a solid day. Milton Williams, before he had that friendly fire, I'm like, why are you running in there, bro? They already got it down. I get it. Hustle plays. You all want to hustle football, but he's coming in there too hard. Bam! And he gets some concussion. We'll see if he's able to clear concussion protocol this week, but we need him, man, because he just brings the energy. We'll be able to weather the storm, but we're better with Milton Williams than without. Let's see. Marlon came in and he played a decent small amount, but he gave us some quality stats as he always does. Nothing really stand out, but he'll give you on the year a handful of splash plays, but he was just solid. That's all we need from him. Let's see. Let's evaluate the other linebackers. Zach Cunningham, 91% of the snaps, playing a high amount, but man, he's effective. He settles into a groove and he uses his wingspan. He almost had that. If he has better hands, I don't trust him to, but he had a deflection on a short throw where he was going after Patrick Mahomes, deciding where to stick with this man. I think he did stick with Jerick McKinnon, and then at last minute, Patrick tries to heave it over his head, and he tips it. I'm like, if he's able to snag that, man, that's a pick, bro. And Jalen Carter almost had a heads-up play on the a spike, as well. Patrick spiked the ball. He dove in between the center's leg and almost picked it off. We'll do a short about that later, but man, he said he saw that from YouTube. Just heads-up play from that guy. Studying on his own, motivated. They said he wasn't motivated. Come on now. Let's see. Nicholas Morrow, he didn't really look out of place. I don't look at the film, but I'm sure that he wasn't 100% pristine. But it's funny. I get it. Nakobe Dean may be the superior talent, but the way these guys play in conjunction off of each other, and also he's like tapping guys. He's tapping. All right, get set. I get it. He has a better potential, but I think they're the better players right now. So even though they don't offer that much in pass coverage, they're able to do enough within the confines of the defense to have us play in rhythm, in sync together. So I like that. Nolan Smith, you don't trust him, So I saw him in there on rush. It was on a penalty play, so I think it went against the Chiefs. We didn't get to see how that rush would have gone, but yeah, man, I don't think it's. Of course, it's not. It's not physical ability, but I think he might just be better as an off-the-ball linebacker. We'll have to evaluate that and see, but I don't think he's limited with pass rush moves, and he tries to use the speed, relies on the speed too often. So it's not a good experiment right now. So he's a liability. Christian Ellis came in there when Nicholas Morrow came out, I think. He didn't look out of place, so it's good to see that we have quality backups. But we're dirt thin in linebacker, which is why maybe we'll get to the guy next that maybe we should bring in. At corner, James Bradbury wasn't Burntberry today. He had a solid play. Didn't see him get toasted. Really at all. But they don't really have the top shelf quality level of receivers. So. We'll see next week when we're dealing with Stephon Diggs and Gabe Davis, and, those guys. Dalton Kincaid, see if maybe he shadows him, shades him. We'll see how they approach him, but solid day from him, as well as Darius Slay, man. Had one DPI, that's it. Other than that, man, he was locking down receivers. But like I said, step up in talent next week. We'll see how they fare. Kevin Byard, obviously, he gave up the touchdown, got lost in the shuffle, lost in the trash. The sea turtle at sea, getting caught in the plastic ring around his neck, like damn. And when Justin Watson caught a touchdown, but then I believe he did. They pointed this out on different broadcasts, but YouTube channels, specifically Jacob Media Sports. Did he lull the guy into a false sense of security? Him being Patrick Mahomes, into thinking that he was taking the under route, and then he falls back. Undercuts Justin Watson and makes that pick. Man, just beautiful in the end zone to take away points from them. That's a 6-7 point swing and a huge red zone interception as well. Mahomes being a little careless there, instead of widening out the route, he throws it at the spot and gets picked. So he held up solidly against coverage against receivers as well as tight ends, and guarding Kelsey when we double and triple team him at times, and provided bracket coverage. Excellent work, man. And Reed Blankenship also had some blitzes, and I don't see him here, but yeah, man, he was playing. He was playing lights out. I think that we should have used him on the blitz. I mean, in coverage instead of letting him blitz, but he has versatility, man. He's a solid tackler. He does all things pretty well, and didn't look out of place. And so us getting more playing time together, I think is the biggest thing for this defense. Let's see, Eli Ricks, man, he got burnt a couple times, but he gave decent coverage. The slot's not his thing, so I'm gonna give him a pass on that. Hopefully he can adjust to some degree the longer he plays and the more experience he gets there. But that penalty, man, just can't have that. It was on a play where it didn't go to you. All you have to do is get sticky and stay sticky. Pause. But I believe in the slot, and he did rotate with Sidney Brown. Sidney Brown looked better, and I think he's a better blitzer. He's a better tackler as well. But he didn't look too lost in man coverage. He did give that long ball, 17-yarder to Justin Watson. But other than that, I think he handled himself well and acquitted himself well. So I like to see him continue to rotate. But Bradley Roby, man, the quality snaps that he's able to give us there, played only 56% of the snaps. But most of them, I don't know if I saw him outside or whatever. But outside the play, him getting burnt by MVS, Marquez Valdes-Scantling, he put himself in great position to make plays, and him and Byard, I think, having more time, being able to adjust more and have more, experience and knowledge in this defense, they've settled us down. All the switches and all that stuff, didn't see it really be a problem. Only, say go give up that touchdown, he's got to know to switch there. And I would have targeted the ball and tried to undercut the route and follow the ball, and that might have been a pick six if he was able to do that. But yeah, man, just that rub route. Marquez Valdes-Scantling shuttling in, that natural rub route. I hate those plays when it's worse against us, to be honest. But we do it as well in our offense. So what's good for the goose is also good for the gander. Can't be cherry picking when only benefits you. That's women, and that's unaccountability. We don't do that shit over here. Anyways, yeah, man, just overall, just effort by the defense as a unit, holding them to 0 points, 0 second half points. So they win it with 17 and end with 17. Excellent, man. All right, let's see if there's anything else here to pick out. Yeah, Bradley Roby with that punch out, just great. On a wet day, perfect. Peanut Tillman punch. Shout out to that former Bears great cornerback. Yeah, excellent, man. Yeah, special teams. Josh Jobe, man, special teams player of the day. Kadarius Toney having, low-key tearing us up. He goes down there. He fills it at the 9, and he gets tackled at the 9. That's it. Nothing allowed on that drive. I think that was the last drive of the game for them. And we got to have it. We got to keep them, as pinned back as far as we can, and he did that. So, man, just excellent. And then, other guys playing, Braden Mann punting, excellent. Jake Elliott being able to bang one off the upright, and it still goes in. Just luck there, but everybody else, Sidney Brown did have that play on special teams where he just launches himself in. It's very similar to the Super Bowl. Goes in there blind. I'm like, bro, go go in there under control. Like, I'm just like, what the fuck are you doing, bro? So, things like that. But it mostly worked out. We had an up and down game on special teams, but the returns by Britton Covey, man, had 17-yard average, 26-yarder to set us up. I think at around the 40, did that twice. And man, just overall excellent day, and very solid. With him, he's not super shifty, but man, he is highly effective. Right. Anyways, let's get to some other things. Yeah, this guy just got released by the Colts, formerly Darius Leonard, now Shaq Leonard. Should we pick him up? Man, I think we should at least keep the tires, man. Shout out to Top Billing. Go and check out his channel on YouTube. He has some great breakdown analysis of this guy and what he can do when healthy. And that's the big question. You know, we don't know with him. So like I say, at least bring him in. He could be, you know, on the practice squad and, you know, have that, you know, in our back pocket in case, you know, one of our guys goes down. Or just, you know, if he ever shows, you know, that he can be healthy. He hasn't looked like himself in 2023. And let him clear waivers. He's not going to, you know, pick up the contract, you know, that's $20 million per year. He's only on the books for, I think, $6 million this year and then $6 million next year, but still, you know how he doesn't want to pay that, especially for an aging guy and the guy that's hurt. That being said, man, he would definitely have something to offer if he's healthy, and the way he's able to you know, drop his hips, mirror tight ends, running backs out of the backfield, it's DB-like. So, man, he could definitely upgrade us there. I believe he would be the final piece of the linebacker core, and then, man, we'd be set over the middle. Like, that would be a huge impact, but that's if he's healthy. So, don't know, but doesn't hurt to check him out, right? All right, the last thing we'll get to here is the power rankings. So we sit at number 1, repeat. Yeah, it wasn't a pretty game. Ugly win, another one. We're at 9-1 though, don't care. But we were battle tested, and the way we were able to hold strong, had a mental fortitude. It's funny, like, it's wore off onto me. I didn't even get shaky. I'm just like, okay, we're still in this thing. We're still in this thing. No panic. And me, I'm like, that's unusual because I'm like, usually kind of a little bit, at the very least, a bundle of nerves, but we were able to pull it out. Didn't have much. We had Devonta Smith and DeAndre Swift, though, and those are the 2 Ds that we need. Pause. No spit rips in here. Let's see. A.J. Brown held in check. Jalen Hurts makes an interception, but, you know, there's miscommunication between those 2 guys. But, yeah, 2 crucial TD drives when we needed it in the second half. We got contributions by Covey. It was just team effort in the second half, special teams, defense, and offense in spurts. We got her done when we needed it. So, anyways, we're gonna get up out of here on that note. I know that you're not even watching though, but it's all good because, as always, I love talking about the Eagles and I love making these videos. So we're gonna chunk the deuces, but as always, it's fly Eagles fly, and let's motherfucking go. Like, comment, share, and subscribe if you Thanks for watching. Check me out at Centron Anime, Centron Life, or Centron Laughs, or other social media.